aka Davey K. Are we starting now? Have we started already?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's a loose open, but...
All right, cool. Yeah. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's I just do Davey K because nobody can pronounce Komorowski at all. So
okay, you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Now, shh. Just be quiet. Just be quiet. Welcome back, everybody. I know I've been gone for a little bit. We're just letting the silence sink in. Have a moment with me. Close your eyes. Think, who would be the best suited guest for Nick to come back to? Now open your eyes. I want you guys to walk down a journey with me. You're sitting. You're at home. A good buddy of yours from the Wilmington-based comedy scene texts you, "Hey, would love to get on." You answer, "I would love to have you on." Think, who could it be? All right, yeah, no.
Is that my turn to come in?
No. I wanted
It's me. Hi, guys.
I'm getting into a bad spot where I'm running too many. I'm being too silly sometimes. So if everybody could, if you're driving, obviously don't take both hands off the steering wheel, but give a round of applause. Thank you so much for David Komorowski.
Yep.
Komorowski or Komorowski?
Komorowski, yeah, that's correct, yeah.
Komorowski, otherwise known as Davey K, the coolest shirt gang. Is what I would refer to you as.
Yeah. I try to be prepared and wear some cool stuff.
Now, do you think a lot of people, especially in today's like marketing world, do you think that too many people are attempting to wear their personality on their shirt?
Yeah. I mean, I personally do. I'm not sure what you mean by wear their personality on a shirt. I mean, I just try to. I personally do that because I wear local stuff. I just try to wear all local stuff.
Okay.
So I got this in Asheville, I think.
Okay.
Coffee shop in Asheville, and it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a dig to you. It does look like a professional hand job shirt.
This is pretty much the same size as my hand, too. My real hand.
Baby hand. No.
Well, I have a joke about that, too. Oh, yeah.
It looks so big, too.
Yeah.
No, what I'm getting at is like, like those weird shirts where it's like, don't talk to me unless I've had my coffee.
Oh my God.
Those like weird personality. Like I feel like too many people are trying to essentially push their personality, even though it may not like completely align with their personality.
Yeah,
you know?
I saw a shirt the other day that I actually cracked up about and I want to get. It says, "Hold on while I overthink this." And I just think it's funny as hell to do that. But yeah, I mean, me and my wife make that joke, like, don't talk to me until I have my coffee or whatever it is. Like, it's just like too much. It's too much of that stuff.
Because I find myself being sent a lot of shirts like that where it's like cheesy one-liners. Because like now that... most of my friend groups are like understanding that comedy is something I'm trying to pursue.
For sure.
So what I'm getting is a lot of love by them, but it's in the form of add this to your routine.
Shirt-wise?
Not necessarily shirts, but just
people giving you suggestions.
Videos, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like look at this couple's video.
Add this into your
This
spot.
is so you and your wife, Priscilla, you know?
Yeah, nobody really sends me any videos like that, but I mean, it's interesting to see people when you tell them that you start doing comedy. Like people treat me differently now that I know and that I talk to.
They hate you so much more, don't they?
I pick up on that quite a lot. No, but they'll try to like say, "Oh, this is funny," or "That's funny," or whatever. Like I'll go out to the bar with my dad when I go home and visit. And he's like, "Oh, this guy's really funny." This guy's like telling me a bunch of one-liners and stuff like that. And he's like, "All right, what do you got?" And I'm like, "Dude, you got 10 minutes? If you got 10 minutes, I can tell you what I got." But I just don't have that stuff that people are looking for where it's like, tell me a joke. Or like people start saying that. I'm sure people tell that to you once they find out that you're starting to do comedy. Like, tell me something funny. It's
here's the thing. I bring it on myself because I will promote a show if I'm at the doctor's office.
Really?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing Saturday night? You guys could come down to... Because I've always been putting myself out there like that.
I don't. I'm the opposite.
And I don't mind it. What I don't like is tell me a joke. Well, it's like, all right. Like if you're a DJ and you tell somebody that you're a DJ, they're not like, well, play me a fucking song.
I know. Yeah. Yeah.
Play me a song, Skrillex. You know, that's not how that works. You can't be like, yeah, you guys got a fog machine, 2 turntables, an MP3 player, and a crowd.
Oh yeah, I got a garage. Let's set it up right now.
Yeah,
Like, let's just do that. Yeah, I'm the opposite of that way with like. We've had neighbors for 6-7 months, and I've gone over multiple times, and by accident, I told them that I do comedy.
Yeah,
I try not to tell.
Was it accident?
It really was an
accident.
Well, yeah. I was drinking a little bit, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was a little loose. I was like,
dude, you're trying to flex it. You're like, you know, I do comedy.
Well, it's good when you start having success at it. It's worth telling people. But the first 5 months going to Dead Crow, I didn't want anybody to know I was doing anything because it was bad. It was bad stuff. Wasn't happy about going because I wasn't getting a lot of laughs yet. But once you start getting laughs and you start having like a routine, it's totally way better.
More fun.
Way more fun. And you have the confidence to tell people, hey, I actually do comedy because people laugh sometimes, hopefully all the time when I go up and do jokes. So,
yeah.
But I mistakenly told my neighbors that. And I don't want people to come and see me and say crazy stuff.
Sure.
And then judge me on that.
Sure.
Outside of
they
open
shouldn't,
mics.
Right. And that's also, I think that's part of prefacing the comedy thing. Like, guys, you got to know this is just my style of comedy. I'm not tied to these beliefs.
Yeah.
Even though I think they should have separate water fountains. You know? So we're talking about kids.
Oh, man.
You know how many boogery fingers are on a water fountain?
I don't want to know. I don't use
many.
water fountains. Try not to use water fountains too much.
I watched my kid deep throat a water fountain where he was like not putting his lips to the water, but like,
oh my
like
God.
over.
Have you ever used this mic before? Have you ever been over on? All right, cool.
No, it's only been this
I don't
one.
want to.
I sanitize them also because we also do porn in here.
Yeah, this one smells a little bit like some lube or something like that.
Why does
Strawberry?
why does this smell like garlic? Well, first and foremost, thanks for coming out. I want to thank you so much. I know it's a little bit of a drive. It's hard to get you Wilmington folk down here.
Yeah, it really is. I come up here once in a while, but the furthest I made it up this far. This is the furthest I made it up, but the furthest besides this has been like Topsail Salty Turtle.
Okay,
which is probably 30 miles short of this.
Yeah,
I think so.
Well, this should be coming out this week if you're not busy.
Yeah,
I am doing the first open mic here at Hooligans.
I saw that. Huge. When is that?
August 2nd. So it's this Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No pressure. Don't feel like this isn't me. This is what I've been saying to all the Wilmington comics.
This is how you get me to come to this open mic.
Yeah. Well, you've already been here, right? So you know the area. No, I don't want anybody to feel like my feelings are going to get hurt. I'm a thick-skinned individual, so if like people can't make it out to my open mic, I'm not upset about it. It's also once a month, so like that's what I think is going to make it a little bit more manageable.
Yeah,
I think it'll build kind of the hype to it. But
what time is it? I should ask that question.
Signups are at 8.
8, okay. So I do trivia now for Wolfgang. This is
right,
my shameless
Wednesdays.
plug.
Yeah.
I do trivia at Catawba Brewing Company in Wilmington. Come out 7 to 9.
Say it again.
Catawba Brewing Company 7 to 9 on Wednesdays. I'm your host.
You're going to go to Wilmington, or you're going to come to, or you're going to come here, right? Well, he does his every week, so
go to that one. Go to yours. They can come to mine whenever. I was hoping you were going to say it's on Friday because I would love to come up here on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Congrats on the open mic, though. That should be cool. You're doing that once a month. That's awesome, man. That's really good.
We're going to start it at once a month and see. I just didn't want to.
Wednesdays are good.
Me and the producer, so he books the venue and stuff. So, I didn't want to start every week and then feel like if people aren't showing, then it feels like it's degressing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right.
Digress. Digress, I feel like, is a different word.
You're like, but I digress. I think that means that like
retract, right?
Yeah, but it's so hard to. It's so weird.
I didn't want it to feel like the show is retracting.
I got you. I know what you're saying.
I want it to feel like it's going
progressing
forward
instead of degressing or digressing.
Progressive also. Get better rates when you bundle.
I work for an insurance company.
Do you?
Yeah.
You fucking janky bastard. You're lying
now
to
I'm not
people 100%
say which one.
of your day.
I'm not going to say which one.
Don't do it. Yeah, go full Fight Club.
No.
I work for a very important insurance company managing 3 numbers. Now, if X plus Y doesn't equal C, yeah.
Actuarial stuff.
So I don't think. I mean, I know in passing. So I want to say, I feel like you and I are as far as comedy at the Dead Crow, we are peers in that we both started similarly. Do you Zen? Do you like Zen?
I don't. I would. I'm not going to because my head will be through the roof if I do one of those.
Too.
See, that's
Sixers.
That's
baby.
a mistake, man.
Sixers, baby. I would say we're same peer group because you started 2021, right?
I did 2021. I actually moved down here on Black Friday of 2021.
It's
the day after Thanksgiving.
That we didn't name the holiday. That's just what it's called.
It's business purposes.
If Kanye would have named it, it would have been Off-White, but that's not. It's Off-White Friday here in this house.
It's the day after Thanksgiving. Whatever. We moved down 2021, and then I was looking for an open mic. I came and watched 1 week, and then I started the week after that. So right around there.
It's funny you say that. So my first time, I was shitting. I was by myself, shitting bricks. I still have the recording.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't do bad.
Really?
Going up with what I had, I got laughs.
Do you remember, like, you don't have to go into the whole thing. Do you remember, like, roughly, like, what, did you have an idea that you wanted to talk about the first time that you went up? Like, did you have, like, a premise? Because I know what mine was. I want to know what yours was.
Mine was, I can't remember if it was the first or second one, but I knew I was thinking about the joke. How weird it was that Alfred was just tending to these two caped crusaders.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
And that it seemed kind of pedophilia. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But it was too rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And
that's a cool that's actually a pretty funny concept.
I even tried doing an act out of Alfred smelling their laundry after a night of crime fighting.
That's pretty cool.
And that one bombed.
Really?
Yeah.
Nobody got that? Nobody liked that?
They did, but it wasn't executed the way it should. I should revisit it.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I thought about doing that on the podcast, was like a section where comics bring, you know, if they can't remember the first bit ever, like one of their early bits, you come in and we rework it.
That's cool. Yeah.
I feel like that would be a cool little segment to the podcast. But you remember yours?
Yeah. And if you ever do that, I'll gladly come back and do that in the future. But mine was I just talked about hot yoga for like
that's fucking
4 minutes. Yeah. And
just describing it.
Just like, the teacher was like a raisin because she sweat so much. And then like I made a joke. This actually happened. This chick was like a bigger girl, plus size woman, was like, we were doing a pose or something like that. And she fell over.
Oh.
Her foot. We thought she broke her foot. I did nothing. I didn't get up. I turned my head and looked, and then like 3 women jumped to help her out, and But I made a whole joke about that, unfortunately. But it went okay. Got a couple of laughs. You know what I mean?
Some chuckles.
Yeah.
Sometimes the chuckles hurt worse because it's like, especially when you're expecting to get the response, you've already like worked the bit up in your head. You're like, oh, this is gonna crush. Yeah. And then when you drop it, and then it's just crickets, you're like, my balls go to my throat. That's how upset I get.
There's certain spots that we go to during the week that I'm sure you expect more pain than pleasure, and silence and whatnot. It depends.
Yeah.
Dead Crow's good, but like other spots are
tough. What are you, because you started, do you remember, I guess it doesn't really matter. You started 2021. You came down from Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, so directly down. What was Philly like? Because that was, what year was that? If you came down 2021, so I would imagine 2020, and then your whole life you've been in Philly, or
right outside of Philly. I've lived there my whole life. Yeah, Pennsylvania, nice. Suburbs of Philly. Been going to go to see sports stuff, Sixers,
Poconos.
Phillies, Poconos for sure. Yeah, skiing, all that. I ski. I don't snowboard because I'm a dork, but but I loved it, man. I love the East Coast. Talk to people from the Northeast, and it's just like people have a different attitude up north. Mm-hmm. Personally, I feel like people are way more uptight up north and just like smile less and like are wear their heart on their sleeve a little bit more.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Driving in Philly,
trash.
Everyone has road rage. Mm-hmm. Everyone's crazy here still, but still in Wilmington, nobody knows how to use a turn signal. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Some older woman here, this was like a one-off situation, was running a stop sign. I honked my horn. She flipped me off.
Yeah.
That was the only really negative encounter I've had here. But up north, it's more.
Oh, that's every day.
Way more.
Yeah,
common.
I tell my wife, because I still drive like I'm from New Jersey.
That's what I'm saying. The Northeast comes out of you sometimes.
Yeah.
So
I get very rageful. Like if somebody's doing something that's even the slightest bit inconvenient to me on the road, I am in a full fit.
Me too. I tailgate.
Full fit.
I'll tailgate.
I will fucking slap my steering wheel. Like, what are you doing over there? Huh? Oh, you're in the turning lane. Oh, now you gotta go back over, huh? You're a jerk off.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'll roll my window down and tell them they're a jerk off.
That happens to me all the time too.
So, because I'm Asbury Park, I don't know if you've ever been there.
Oh, yeah, no, Asbury.
So Asbury
Seen
Park
concerts too. Yeah.
That was my first concert was at Convention Hall.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw
Skate and Surf. That's
3
what
Days Grace, Red, and Breaking Benjamin there.
Wow, that sounds like a very angry event.
It was, dude.
Very angry.
It was my first pit.
A lot
I
of
was
angst.
like
Nice.
terrified.
Awesome.
Got clotheslined.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane.
Felt
Loved
great.
it.
Sure it felt great.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you're a Trapped fan, but they're coming to Jacksonville.
I just heard that today, and
Yeah.
I laughed a little bit to myself. I'm like, do people still listen? I loved Trapped
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah.
My friends, some of my friends, I was in a couple bands growing up, but I like Trap. My friends are like, oh, you like Trap? But now I'm shocked there's still a band one,
Yeah.
too. When are they coming? Because I think I'm going to go to that
It's
concert.
later this month. They'll be
All
at
right.
Hooligans.
I might have to talk to you, yeah.
If you come with me, we'll talk after this, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to like meet them. Yeah. Because
Hell
the
yeah,
booker.
dude.
The booker. Yeah. So that could be cool.
So, first of all, what is Hooligans? Is it like...
Hooligans Live is a venue.
Okay.
So, Johnny, shout out to Johnny. He got mad at me because I kept saying in the promo, I kept calling it Music Hall. And he's like, dude,
really?
I've been trying to change this for years. Stop doing it. And I was like, all right, man. All right. You're cool. I got it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you look on the reel, I crossed out Music Hall and then just put live above it.
I love it.
as
That's good.
As like a little bit. But so it's a music venue. They do rap. They do like Afroman's coming the night after our open mic.
So Thursday
Afro
night.
Man, yeah.
Wow, dude. I'd
Yeah.
like to see Afro Man too.
Yeah.
It sounds like they get some cool gigs coming in.
Dude,
there.
they had Riff Raff like a couple of years, like
What is
last
going
year.
on? How have I not heard about Hooligans, man?
Yeah.
I got to show up.
Yeah.
Riff Raff. Jeez.
Yeah. Great venue. It's got a big stage. They can pack that motherfucker out. I don't
Yeah.
know if you listen to hardcore music, but
I do.
So Lorna Shore was here.
Yeah, I've heard of Lorna Shore, yeah.
Brand of Sacrifice made a drop in. Body Snatcher was here.
I thought it was your dog. Hopefully
It was
that wasn't
my
your
dog.
Was it your dog?
Yeah. Hopefully not dying. I would hate that. All right, now that I zoomed in. No.
Can you make the zoom in like that?
Yeah, just do it in editing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
That makes
come on,
sense.
man.
I thought I don't know. I'm horrible with technology. By the way, crazy setup. On a random note, I'm the worst with technology.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to come see what you had going on because decorations killer.
Yeah. This is a very manageable setup.
Yeah, I just need
To be
I'm just
honest,
the worst.
what you make, I don't know, 5 or 6 shows would pay for all of this.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, man. This is a good
It's not.
setup.
It's not. This is like I don't have the Shure like SU56s or whatever the fuck they're
Oh,
called.
the SM. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The Joe Rogan mics. Now they call
Yeah.
them Joe Rogan mics. Yeah.
I don't have those, but these I dual hat. So like if I need to take these for a show, I can still use them. I have 3 of them.
Nice. Good deal, dude.
But what the fuck were we talking about?
What were we?
So
talking
you
about?
you said you were in bands. Do you play all of the instruments, or like are you a guitar
So actually,
specialist?
I play music. I actually play music out live in Wilmington as well. So
nice.
I play guitar and sing. Again, one of those things where I don't really mention it in front of people unless whatever it is, because I don't want you to come see me like, oh, he sucks or whatever. Which I don't suck. I'm always trying to get better.
As long as you don't become one of those comedy acts that uses the guitar,
No,
we're cool.
People have asked me to bring the guitar. I'm like, no, I will get crushed verbally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I play guitar. I played the drums. I played the bass. I grew up listening to Trapped and like Linkin Park and other more hardcore bands that probably nobody's ever heard of. But
Killswitch Engage.
yeah, Killswitch Engage. Yeah. There's one band that I've actually been listening to a lot recently. Secret Lives of the Freemasons. This band I grew up loving.
I feel like I've heard that name.
Awesome. They're not really around anymore, but my band, when we did play, screamo music. So, you know.
Asking Alexandria, Attack.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. So all that stuff. We opened for Secret Lives of the Freemason. That was like our big thing. But at the Troc,
Okay.
Trocadero. So that was a spot in Philly. I don't know if it's called the Troc anymore. It was a good time. But yeah, I have a keyboard in my house. My room is like this for you, but it's instruments and stuff. Cool. That is just all over the place. My wife hates it, but whatever. You know what I mean?
Dude, you gotta have that space in your house. But I played snare a little bit. I did a little bit of percussion when I was in school. Nice. Never stuck with it. Grew up in high school, started fucking around with the guitar a little bit. Nothing crazy. Yeah. I've forgotten all of it since. Like I'm now just I think I'm at a point where I'm just a music fan. I don't necessarily dabble in the instruments, although I think it would be cool to eventually like make my own song. But just like from like a creator's standpoint, because I love watching those like not TikToks, Instagram reels where like guys are like, all right, well let's just fuck with a song, and they just play a little riff. Yeah. They slam it in, they get a keyboard, they throw some fucking percussion in, then they sing over it, and they're like, and this is it, and then they fucking snap, and it's.
I wish I was like that person. Yeah. Do
you get like writer's block a lot?
I've been getting writer's block with comedy recently, but like my whole thing was like doing music. I like doing music. I do write my own stuff.
Sure.
I play my own stuff. I try to record my own stuff. I wish I was one of those people that do like I'm going to play this one note and then I'm going to expand it and then make a drum beat and all that. I haven't gotten into all that.
Yeah.
But I like doing music. I like doing comedy. I never wanted one to take away from the other.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like I'll do music gigs on certain nights of the week and I'm like, I want to do this mic or I want to do this show, but I can't because I have to do music. So like I mostly battle with that. And yes, to answer that question a little bit shorter, I've not been able to write any music for like a year and a half. I haven't written anything new, but it's partially also because I haven't recorded anything. Like I used to go to a recording studio in Philly. I don't have that here. I haven't been able to link up with anybody. So like my outlet of finishing the song, putting it out, getting it out, relieving it from my brain, I haven't been able to do that. So
yeah, because I fuck around in the house every once in a while, and I'll rip a couple of pig squeals and fucking some deep gutturals.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, I can imagine like you being. So you do like hardcore music. I like hardcore music as well, but assuming you just listen to some of the screaming stuff.
Yeah.
It's always fun to put if you want to get like a nice stress release or whatever, putting that on in your car and then like screaming that out like as they do it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Little Infinite Annihilator. That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's I feel your pain on that. So I'm an Advent like artist and
creative for sure.
I'm very creative. On my iPad, so like I draw a bunch of stuff, and I guess this is me just plugging some of my artwork too.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, I'd love to see it.
So my son, so like this is a tattoo I did for my my buddy.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
I don't know where this white line came from, so that's pissing me off. But
you should show the viewers your.
I'll just throw it up on.
Oh, all
there.
right, cool.
I did my unit logo.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I did this for my son while I was on deployment. It's a little Spider-Man.
I might have to get you to help me design a shirt or something like that.
Dude, I'd love it.
In your spare time if you have time.
Yeah, this is just some of the little shit that I'm fucking around with.
Oh, that's cool, man. It's like anime-ish.
Yeah. So I dabble in that, and then I get like artist block all the time too. So like I'll start a drawing and I won't revisit it for like a month and a half. But then sometimes you just need that break also to like get yourself back in love with the thing. Cause like I do that with skateboarding.
I skateboard too, dude.
I love skating. I just got a BMX bike, so I've been fucking around with my kids. We got a little kicker. So I'm like trying to show them, I want my kids. This is what's cool about being a parent is that I get
injured.
I get to revisit everything that I loved as a kid.
That's actually pretty cool.
Present it to them, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. It hurts my feelings a lot.
Yeah.
Like it took me. My son's 8.
Okay. Almost taller than me already.
Hysterical.
It's insane. Yeah.
Eyebrows heavy, just like his dad.
Yep.
It took me 6 years to get this kid into Dragon Ball Z, and now it's all he talks about.
I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. Dude, it's weird that we are having this long form discussion now, which is pretty cool, but I feel like I'm getting a lot more similarities with you at this point. I grew up a huge Dragon Ball Z fan. Dragon Ball Z fan.
We just finished Super. He watched all of Super. He's in love with the new Broly movie. I had to show him Legendary Super Saiyan. I was like, listen,
Yeah.
I get it. Don't get me wrong. The fight between Goku and Broly is fucking sick.
Pretty good.
It's great.
Yeah.
But hear me out. This first one, banger.
Are you talking about so they remade the Broly movie, right? I had the old one on VHS. I had all of them on. So we used to go to this place called West Coast Videos, I think it was called.
Suncoast
Videos. So you had that too. Yeah. So my dad used to take me there. And
the giant VHS sets.
Dude, always like it was like the thing like I was watching Dragon Ball when it came out on VHS. So we'd have to wait a week or two.
Yeah.
Come in. My dad would be like, "Oh, you have to get the edited ones," which was, whatever.
Yeah. So it was English.
It was in English, and it wasn't as bloody at all. But we got the whole Dragon Ball series that made a picture, a mural. Got the Dragon Ball Z series that made a mural. Got the Cell Saga.
That was what was so cool. Is like it was the picture of Shenron, or it was like all the videos were like they create like it was. So my favorite character is Trunks.
Dude, same. That's very odd, very crazy. Favorite,
I wanted to get
best character.
I wanted to get a statue of him and put him up there.
It'd be so sick. So sick. That's like Rick and Morty-ish, by the way.
I drew. So the design for that is right here. That's what I drew. That was the initial logo.
Oh, nice.
For the podcast, and then I had my little QR code there.
Oh, wow.
And then for my birthday, my best friend's wife
even got the bracelet on it.
She painted that for it. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's dope. Wait, so is that a logo from something else, or like is that from Rick and Morty?
No, it's in that style.
Okay, all right.
But the whole idea is that like I think very weird. So the idea is that like my innards are not human.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
And
aliens.
The whole point of the podcast was because it used to be a monologue. I didn't really have guests on for like the first year and a half.
Yeah.
So I would just monologue and just talk my bits out, and then I started Inside Us, which is just a subcategory of Inside Me.
Yeah.
Where I started having guests.
I love that name, by the way.
Yeah,
I feel like it's very tongue in cheek, like for sure. Like because I kind of know you, so I know that's kind of meant to be that way.
Yeah, it's
inside me. Like
it's an innuendo. It's fun to say. The Inside Me podcast, but yeah. So like Dragon Ball Z, he's fucking balls deep in that right now.
Great show,
it was a great because it was the way I got into art too, was drawing.
Yeah,
Goku drawing Trunks, right?
I draw it too,
and now he's just been drawing up a storm. Like I can't keep up with the amount of pictures.
That's cool, man.
That he's like drawing, so it's super cool. And I'm watching him turn into a mini version of me. So that's like, as a parent, makes me the most proud.
Yeah,
there are a lot of things that he doesn't enjoy that I enjoy, which is cool, I guess. But
which is
he doesn't really like playing outside too much.
That's that's not to get all old manish or whatever. But that's the generation that it's like,
and that's why I try and force him out too, because like we used to get the door locked on us, and it's like come back when the street lights are coming on. Yeah.
We used to just do that in general. We used to play basketball until the sun went down.
Yeah,
longest day of the year, 9 o'clock or whatever.
Are you an and one mixtape fan?
I watched it. I liked it. Yeah, I liked. I had all the Iverson on a different. I had all the Iversons.
I figured growing up in Philly, like that.
Yeah, man, you had to get the answers and the questions or whatever they came out with every time. So that was like my childhood. It was like Dragon Ball Z, playing basketball. I'm still horrible at basketball.
So am I.
But it's very fun to play. Dude, it's a great exercise.
I'm 29 years old, and you will still catch me double dribbling.
Yeah, I have no handle at all.
Yeah,
none at all. I try to D up people, but that's
I just get ran through.
My height, it's not like all the way up here. It's like people just go right over me. But
So growing up, you're an anime fan, you're into music. It seems like Northeast produces a lot of those like skater-esque kids.
Dude, yeah.
And it's so weird that now the shit that like I used to get made fun of for is now very popular.
Yeah.
Like the Saiyan Pride speech is like such a gym rat audio now for people on Instagram.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, do you feel as though now that you're getting older, it's cool that everything's kind of progressing into the anime and like
coming full circle style or what?
Almost, yeah. Like the 90s are coming. I get every generation it like has their fit where like the generation prior everything kind of resurfaces, right?
Yeah.
Like there's Tamagotchis coming back, Game Boy's making a comeback.
I have a Switch. Yeah, I have a Nintendo Switch
so, like,
for sure.
in life, things make that full circle. People in the 90s were like, why is shit in the 70s all of a sudden popular? Why are we using wallpaper again? And now all of a sudden, it's different for us.
Yeah.
But to me, it feels super cool because it's like stuff that I know about, and I'm welcoming it because I think it's really cool that the kids are able to kind of, because in the 90s we had the perfect blend of technology and analog stuff. So like you could still fuck around with a rotary phone.
Yeah.
But Nintendo 64 existed too, you know? So
Beautiful.
Like we had the cool blend, like, and the whole time I've been alive, the internet has existed. So for people of our age to be like, well, you know, before the internet, like, bitch, you weren't alive before the internet.
I know. It's
people
crazy.
forget that the internet was in the 80s. That was when it first started.
Yeah. There was a time pre-internet, that's for sure. But I do like it, but I don't like it because it means that I'm old. It just means that I'm old enough to realize like
shit's making a comeback.
Why are they remaking Ghostbusters again? Or why are they remaking everything differently than what it was, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? And it's like it's the cool stuff is that video games are cool again. Everyone's playing video games, no matter how old you are, what young you are, whatever. I have a Switch. I don't feel like a loser because I have a Switch, because all that stuff's making a comeback. I like that anime is making a comeback, or at least it's cool now to a degree, because I definitely was a nerd back in the day. I was going to ask you what other kind of anime you watched, if you watched any other kind of anime, because I work from home, so I've been watching like a bunch of different ones. Death Note is a pretty sick one.
That's a solid suspense thriller, which really threw me through a loop. So like watching Toonami, which is where I got all of my anime insights from. Yeah. It was Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha, Bleach. Well, not Bleach. Yeah, Bleach. Bleach was on then, right?
I think
Am I fucked up?
Maybe.
I think that was more high school, was Bleach. But
Naruto.
Yeah. One Piece. That was all on when I was not necessarily growing up, but then they had like, you know, Evil Angel, the giant robots.
Watched Attack on Titan.
That's a good one.
Most depressing anime I have ever seen in my life.
Dude, it's like Game of Thrones. It's
Everyone's dying. Yeah. Anybody you like is dying.
It's cartoon Game of Thrones. Like you can't don't get attached to a character.
No.
That's all.
I stopped watching it after like 6-7 episodes. I'm like, is there any positivity in it? Is any progress made? No, it's just like more people dying. I'm like, all right.
Have you seen Fire Force on
I have not.
Hulu?
I have not.
So it's this like, write it down, dude.
Oh, you mind? All right.
It's
save it on my phone
here.
All right.
This is not a professional thing.
I can tell. No, This is crazy, but
Fire Force. I think it's on Hulu still.
Fire Force.
But it's like these firefighters that also have like superpowers.
Love it.
So essentially, there's like this gang that starts these fires and shit that they're like trying to solve. There's like metahumans essentially all over the place, and they start fires and shit like that. So like the Fire Force are the ones that like not only expel the fires but also handle the like bad guys.
What are their super? You said they have superpowers. Like what kind of superpowers? Do they have?
Some of them control fire. Some of them I think like water and other shit.
All right, so a little bit like Avatar kind of thing. I got into that when COVID hit. I watched all of Avatar.
Oh, I've seen all 3 books. I'm not joking, 10 times because my kids were watching and rewatching.
It's a cool show, man.
It's great, and they're bringing it back.
Are they?
Yeah, it's coming back to Netflix, and they're doing a live action. So they're doing a movie that continues in their adult lives.
Yeah.
After the 3rd book, but cool. Before Korra, the Legend of Korra.
Gotcha.
So it's gonna show their like what happened in between those 2 seasons, because I thought Legend of Korra was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
I don't know if you watched that.
I don't know, honestly. I know that I've like I said, I've seen every Avatar episode that was out initially, but I don't remember at all what any of them were called, and I don't remember. I could have seen that.
Sokka. What the hell's the girl's name? Katara, Toph.
Jeez, man, you have been watching it a lot, haven't you?
I have, dude. It's stuck in my brain. But then they essentially had a continuation, so that when Aang died, Korra was the new Avatar, and it's like in this like steampunk
So I
1920s.
I have not seen that.
It's great.
What's that on? Is that on Netflix?
That should be on Hulu or Netflix.
All right, I will check that out. The thing is, when you asked me earlier, like about things coming around full circle,
Sure.
Netflix and Hulu and all these streaming companies are making those things
Popular by holding it
available
up.
for
Yeah.
people too. Now, like I was on Hulu, like looking through, and like Legends of the Hidden Temple was on, Double Dare was on. I'm like, one, they got to start remaking like actually physically making these up again.
Yeah.
Legends of the Hidden Temple will just make a brand new one that's like more hardcore. They did.
They did.
Well, then I need to get on that, man. I'm gonna have to write all this
The only
stuff
reason
down.
my ears
They
to the
did
ground
that?
on this shit is
Yeah.
because my kids. Yeah, they
What's that
redid
on?
that. It's
Wow.
on. It was a Nickelodeon. They redid it on
Wow,
Nickelodeon.
I don't have cable, by the way, so that's
Yeah.
probably a big damper
I
on
think
that whole thing.
it's if it's on like Nickelodeon or anything like that, it's going to be on Hulu.
I
which is
will
where
watch brand
most
new
of that
versions
stuff
of
is.
that for sure.
Yeah.
Double Dare.
I've been trying to get my wife into anything other than New Girl, which is what we will watch. We'll watch before we go to bed.
I do watch New Girl. Okay, I'm not gonna lie.
Dude.
I'm a fan, but my wife has been watching this show. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called, and I hope she watches it at some point because it's driving me nuts. It's a show. It's just like it's a Spanish forward show, so it's just a bunch of different people that are Spanish, and it's like kids and parents growing up, and they work murdering. It's like a comedy show. But she's been watching it it has to have been a month and a half at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many episodes of this show is there? We go to the gym, she's watching at the gym.
wow.
She gets mad. I'm like, turn that, like, let's get a
can we
workout.
work out?
Yeah, like I'm sitting there watching her, use.
Isn't it crazy how addicted people are to their shit?
I'm one of those people
do the
too.
same.
Nobody realizes
Yeah.
it, man. I had to delete TikTok. I was
That's what I did.
hours a day just looking at stuff on TikTok.
Yep.
At least
And
you
I
make
s-
content, man.
I say it's like in research for like what's trending and shit.
Me too.
Which is such a fucking lie to myself
Yeah.
and to my wife and to my kids. Like there are times where like I'll sit and as soon as there's just a millisecond of boredom, I'm immediately reaching for my phone.
I had to delete it.
Yeah.
That's why I had to get rid of it.
Yeah,
It's too much
it's
random
even
stuff.
worse on Instagram because I'm like, all right, well now I only have Instagram and Facebook, so it's like, fuck.
Now
you know?
now I'm doing it on Instagram, and but at least Instagram you can like concentrate your ADD a little bit more. Like,
Sure.
if I click on one cooking thing,
Yeah,
that one French dude that makes all the chocolate stuff.
Sure.
Forget his name. There's a TV show on Netflix about it, but
Yeah.
he makes like crazy stuff. I watch that, and then the next video will be something else cooking. TikTok, it's like aliens are real. Their government's trying to kill us.
Yeah.
Here's a new song I put out. So much random stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah. As it tries to hone your algorithm.
it really does. It's bad. It's bad. Your algorithm starts saying stuff about you that you don't even realize about yourself. Like if you're on TikTok at 3 a.m, it's a way different vibe than in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like 3 a.m, it's all the conspiracy
Scary
stuff.
hours.
Crazy witching hour stuff. It's nuts.
Yeah. Do you? I guess we'll. You've been doing comedy for what 2 years now, almost, and where do you see it as a? Is it something you're doing on the side, or are you eventually looking to make a career out of it? Or
I would love to make a career out of it. I can't. So like I align those two, like music and like comedy, right?
Sure.
It's like two different things. So like music, I don't really see any path. Like, all right, I can make 10 songs, record 10 songs, and then I'm there or whatever.
Sure.
Comedy, I feel like I see more of a linear possibility of it happening. We both go to Dead Crow a lot. We both love doing it. I love doing it. I love making more time for comedy. So I think that I would like to do it for a profession. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it at this point.
Sure.
But if I got enough time and started doing enough shows, I could see myself doing it for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a downfall of a lot of comedians too, is that they just kind of get stuck in the rut. It happens to me every couple of months where you're like, all right, open mic, do a show if you get the opportunity.
Yeah.
And then it's just you get into the cycle of just doing gigs, going to mics, writing, and then like kind of you get stuck in the mundane. I think what separates me sometimes is revisiting like, where am I going with this? What am I what am I trying? What do I view as success? And what can I do to get to that successful level? Because then it to me, it feels so much more rewarding when something like hosting on a weekend at Dead Crow makes it feel that much more of a success point rather than this endless cycle. Because that's what happens.
It does feel like an endless cycle for sure.
And
yeah, and
so
it's not consistent either all the time.
Give yourself those bookmarks that like, you know, when I hosted my first open mic, that was
some people
I don't know if she wants me to say her name, but you know, Dead Crows Booker, love ya. You know, that was big for me, and I couldn't thank her enough for the opportunity. And you know,
I actually asked you about how to host because I remember I saw you hosting, and there was like a influx. Like, well, you know, I think Zach used to host it all the time. He used to come. He always used to be hosting, and then like people that I came up with that I was more close to than yourself because I didn't see you all the time was like Shane Brown, Wolfgang. We all kind of were together. You know what I mean?
Well, I deployed too. I've deployed once.
Oh, so that's where you went. That's why you disappeared. Yeah. So that's what. Yeah. So I grew up with them and came up with them, and they started hosting, and then you started hosting, and I was like, well, I want to try to host as well, and it's a big deal. People might not realize that it's a
how big it is.
Yeah, you're at a club. You're at a real club that hosts real comedians. Yeah. You're getting paid in your shekels to work for 2-3 hours, but it's not really work. It's a great time. It's amazing. Yeah.
Especially if you, in my mind, like the people who complain about hosting, it always upsets me.
Well, you need to step back. If you're having a problem with hosting and you don't want to do it, step back from it, which I'm sure, I don't think I could do it every week. Because I like to show up, do my thing, focus on my bit, and then get in and get out sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, especially you live far away too. So
I'm the opposite, dude. I want to put as much work in as I can while I'm there. And for me, hosting gives me so much more of an opportunity to like play off of the crowd and not necessarily work bits. Yeah. But I can be, it helps me be more present
100%
in the room, which was a big thing for me. Cause like the first year I was going up and like, what are the words I need to say?
It's hard to remember.
Now I just remember the structure of the joke, and I can kind of play off of that in the room. And that's all a testament to hosting and like being way more present than I was.
I agree with that 100%. And like now that I'm doing trivia on Wednesday nights, it's not necessarily comedy, but I don't look at any of the questions before I do it. They're generated every week. So I come in, I read the question to the crowd or whatever, and if I think of something funny, I'm going to say it or like riff it or whatever. Yeah. When you're hosting it, I agree with you 100%. Like you have to be present because you're going back and forth. You're watching everybody's sets. You're seeing what works and what doesn't from like 20 to 30 different people. You're really working at a comedy, like you're literally working at a comedy club. You
can
the light
also
on,
learn how to like berate a crowd. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, if someone's bit is a well-presented bit and they're still not laughing, you can annotate that and you can tell the crowd to like loosen up. And that just helps with your ability to like control a crowd. Like, oh, we didn't like the baby jokes, guys.
Yeah,
we didn't
double down on it.
We didn't like Cam Smith's 9/11 joke.
Anything that he says is off the wall. He's one of those guys that I love. I love seeing because he does push it. Yeah, I don't see like it's not consistent in the sense that I never really see him repeat any bits or like working on something. But every time he comes up, it's always like I'm like have my hand over my mouth already because I'm like I know it's coming and like he's just that's just a random side note. But I mean. I think the more you do it, the more you realize that sometimes the material isn't for the crowd or whatever. Like I've gone to shows and I did a show in New Bern and it was like a big show for me because it was like a bunch of other comics, like 10-year comics. And I was the opener. I did a favor and he's like, you can do the show. I was like, all right, cool, man. Thanks. I did my thing. Not a great response. A couple of old person jokes, a couple of over the top, kind of ran the audience over or so to say. And I got done, and then 5 or 6 elderly people left. So that was it was a good benchmark for me to realize, like, okay, this is gonna happen. Yeah, you're gonna offend people no matter what. If you go up thinking I'm gonna go up and everyone's gonna like this material, even though it's over the top, it's not.
The only way that works is for the people who mostly write clean.
Yeah, and I used to be.
I have very few times seen John Feltz like walk a room. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I think that I used to be like way anti-clean, completely. Like I like even like professional people that do clean stuff. I'm like, I hate that person. It sucks. It's not funny if it's not dirty. Yeah. Started watching like Nate Bargatze recently, I love it, and he's great. Like I'm a big Tom Segura fan. Like I like all the like Dave Attell, Louis C.K., people that push the envelope, dirtier side, like cursing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But Nate Bargatze, I think he's hilarious.
The fact, though, that he can do the mostly did you watch his new special on Amazon?
I saw it a while ago. I watched a good. I think I watched most of them close to each other, so I did watch it. But I remember one bit that I thought was very funny.
Sucks, where he's like talking about the religion, and he's like, in our household, sucks was a bad word, and I'm sorry you guys had to hear this filth tonight.
Yeah. It's really good.
Like being able to lean into that stuff.
Yeah.
And just from what I've heard from some of the older comics is like, those are how you get yourself into the studios and stuff like that. Like you can have the after dark sets, but you can also you can do both.
Yeah.
And I was, hold on one second. Cause my kids are going fucking sicko.
So this is part where I collect my thoughts, people. And what I'm thinking now is I'm hungry. Haven't eaten yet today. I intermittent fast. But yeah, I am hungry. I'm going to eat when I'm done this. And I'm very caffeinated, very heavily caffeinated. I'm on this new thing where every time I get a coffee, I have to get a shot of espresso on the side. And I do it like till my hands start shaking. So that's kind of my coffee addiction. That's how I overcome hunger. Just get the jitters. Yeah, it's just me collecting my thoughts while Nick's out talking to his children.
Yeah, damn, dude. I was like trying to focus on what you were saying, but then I just heard. Don't. I'm back. This is what happens when you run it out of a spare room in your house. You get kids that don't know how to behave themselves sometimes, and that's fine because they're kids, right? Am I right? Everybody? Is that cool? My Apple Watch just told me to keep moving. Go fuck yourself. You're an inanimate object. No, yeah. So like,
lazy. Yeah.
I don't know what. I would say I'm a big comedy fan. I think I like watching people of all like varying styles.
Yeah.
Tom Segura is obviously I would say GOAT of, and I really hate kind of using the word GOAT, but like
he's up there.
The progression of like completely normal to disgraceful to ball hog to now sledgehammer.
Yeah.
Watching his growth as a comic is inspiring.
He's physically getting healthier as well. He's shrinking as a human being, but I
saw Neil Brennan had said he looks like Joe Rogan looks like his stunt double, which is hysterical.
That's awesome. That's funny as hell. Yeah.
But then, so like, because I always wanted to do the story type comedy style.
That's what I lean into as well. Yeah.
And watching his specials over and over again, I look for where he lays his punchlines in and how he punches up the stories or punches them down, which is, I think, something that people take for granted also is like, especially starting up, you always want to punch up, right?
Yeah.
Like you never want to feel like anybody's getting disrespected or like you want to kind of flirt the line of being silly, but also in a fun way.
Yeah.
Right. Timmy said this to me when you're hosting and when you're putting on a show, especially at a local comedy scene, you always want to sell fun. Like that's the phrase he gave me.
I like that.
Sell the fun, right? As a host, your job is to sell people on the feature, the guest, and the headliner. And it's something I've kind of stuck to is, what people take for granted is that they just see the comics who have put 20 plus years, 15 plus years into their craft.
Yep.
And because it's funny that they're saying some of these dirty things, they're not recognizing the setups and the ways that they write to get to those dirty jokes. Yeah. And I'm guilty of it too. Like the first year I was going up and just saying things that I thought were offensive and funny. And
that's how I was too. Yeah.
And so
I do it now as well.
Once I made that switch where not everything needs to feel like you're demeaning someone or like making fun of them. You can make light of a situation the same way you can kind of bolster a good time without making people feel like they're getting singled out. Like if there's a heckler, by all means, light them on fire.
Yeah.
But I've realized now, like after watching some of like Steve Marcinowski and just how they deal at the local scene with hecklers.
I see my biggest fear was hecklers. I remember a while ago, man, when I was starting out, this one guy, I'm sitting in the bar just waiting for the show to start, and I'm talking to this one guy who's like clearly thinks he's a comic, just a weekend warrior guy who's the funniest guy of all his friend groups, older guy, cracking jokes the whole time, blah, 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 whatever. Show starts. Everyone that goes up is like, man, this one guy keeps heckling me. This guy won't shut up. And then somebody goes up and deals with him, talks.
I think I know this night. He was like not in the first row, but like right at the second row. He was sitting sideways.
I think he was sitting sideways, and I was terrified. And I go up and I realized that it's the dude that I was befriended before the show started. I talked to him. I was like, all right, man, here's $100. Shut up. Stop heckling now. I tried to make a joke out of it. And then I proceeded to do 5 minutes about a friend that had cancer that got no laughs.
Yeah, dude.
I prefaced the whole thing like, I don't think this is going to be that funny, but my friend has cancer. And the one was like, the guy's wife was like, that's not funny. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm trying, that was earlier days when you try to, that was not selling fun.
You try and conquer the edgy stuff without any of the experience. It's literally like skydiving after like you've done one tandem jump and you're like, I pulled the cord before, so why not just jump without somebody attached to my back?
You get a couple laughs. You're like, all right, I'm a surgeon. I can do this. And then you just plow into it and you try to do it. And you just, if it doesn't work, you say, all right, I'm just going to plow through this,
That's
whatever.
Such a necessary thing to happen though, to like try and touch an edgy subject and then just get nothing.
Cam Smith, I mean, everything you could.
You got to remember too, Cam Smith's been doing this since he was like 16.
A long time. Yeah.
And so he was going through that when he was like way early in his career. So like to see him now touching those bits is both warranted and he's not afraid to bomb. It's really cool to see him still get nervous about some of those bits. Like, I don't know how this is gonna to live in that anxiety-filled brain has got to be crazy.
That's another thing where working clean is cool, because that like, all right, this might be funny, it might not be funny to people, but usually if you're on the clean side, it's relatable to an extent, and it's also not going to get anybody to be like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, I have material that's relatively clean, and I try to do the storytelling method as well, like just telling stories, like some hour-long shows like Razzle Dazzle with Burt Kreischer. It's like I broke it down. It's like 4 or 5 stories. He's just telling 4 or 5 stories, putting punchlines in them, whatever it may be. But I mean, that's the thing. Doing clean comedy is hard, but if you can master it, it's rewarding, and you're not going to get those groans and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you're not going to get the
anxiety is what I meant to say. Less anxiety, because that this isn't going to be over the edge. Some people are going to be pissed off.
I would say it's more of a confidence thing, right? Like you can go into it knowing that like, oh, okay, if this isn't received well, I know it's relatable. It's got to be me. It's the way I'm presenting it tonight specifically. Right?
It's a good joke. It's got one of those things I hate is when you do a joke 20 times, it gets laughs all the time. You go into a set and then like crickets. You're like, what is going? Comedy is so interesting because there's really no consistency. January I had a great month. I wasn't drinking that month. I did dry January, but I got asked to do a couple of shows on the back, like last minute shows. Did the shows really well. Had a bunch of great open mics and stuff like that. And then February, just whatever.
Started bombing your dick.
Some things happen. Yeah. Maybe it's because I started drinking again. I don't know. But like certain months you'll be like, damn, I'm killing it this month, and then couple weeks later you're like, what is did I do something wrong to offend somebody? Like why am I not doing anything? But it's constant work. It is a constant churning work for
comedy is very high stakes, and I think that's why some of the comics return. I think that's why some people quit. I think it's not to make it seem so over embellished, but it is a almost all or nothing. Like you have to commit to a bit if that's what you're choosing to do, right? So I think that's what draws me to it. It's like you could have a bit you think works 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And that's the most it'll get. It's not going to work everywhere. You know, I have a bunch of military bits that crush here.
Yeah.
But then for some reason just don't in Wilmington, you know?
There's a lot of soft people in Wilmington for sure. It's a beach town.
Yeah.
Well, compared to here, obviously, you know what I mean? You know, there's definitely, there's veterans in the crowd a good amount of time, right?
Almost every bar or brewery is veteran owned.
You're going to have a couple of people that
Yeah.
that really like it or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't relate to it as much. It's hardcore. Thank you for your service. I'll say that. But you know, my dad's a Vietnam vet. That's the closest I've gotten to it.
Yeah.
But he definitely is very proud of it. So it's something that's pretty cool to be a part of.
Associated to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's something to be very proud and be associated to it for sure.
Yeah, and I try and keep it as separate as I can. I know I write a couple of bits, but that's only because, like, if I get writer's block, I start to I go back to, like, all right, well, like, who am I? And, like, what can I write about?
Yeah.
And that's usually where I'll start writing some military stuff. But for the most part, I try and keep it as separate as possible. Because I just don't want the I don't want the military to, like, come after me as if I'm speaking in an official capacity.
Yeah.
At an open mic.
Yeah. That's
so. For me, it's flirting with a weird line because they do. Uncle Sam's paying my bills, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the only fear I pretty much have with doing comedy and being active duty.
Yeah, that's interesting because
I said duty.
David Goggins' "Can't Hurt Me" book came out.
Yeah,
and
they don't know me, son.
Yeah, I had it on Audible, and he talks in between some of the chapters, and he said, like, a lot of people started making stuff up about him because, like, the fraternity started coming after him because he was saying certain things or whatever it might be, and I can imagine that happen. I think that it could be like that in a good relatable walks of life. Like, I work for an insurance company. You know, I'm not a manager at this point, so I'm kind of just doing my thing at my desk level. I don't manage a bunch of people, but I could imagine if I did start managing a bunch of people and I start saying some crazy stuff online. Like, I don't really post a lot of my stand-up stuff because I do like to go over the edge, but I also don't want that to come into my work life at all. Like, I have coworkers that will ask me to be their friend or whatever, friend on Instagram, and I decline it because I'm like, I don't want you to see this.
Yeah.
And nothing like wild, but it's like, I don't want that to impact anything that I do because it's something that's fun that I like to do for me and for everyone else that's involved. Mm-hmm. But it's like one of those things where like you know, you hear about like, this teacher got fired because they're doing like TikToks or OnlyFans or something like that.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
they're also like on premise or like on the what's when you're on
premises.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like here.
Yeah, like they're at the school doing TikToks in their classroom.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real hard to separate that in a personal and
for sure
professional manner. And I lucked out too because a lot of people who I work under and for are pretty supportive of it. They understand that I'm maturing enough to separate it, and I don't let it interfere. Like, obviously, if I have to go somewhere, comedy has to take the back seat.
For sure, yeah.
Which sucks professionally as a comic, but it does afford me a little bit of leeway when I need to take, like, special leave to get a show done. Because they know I'm pretty serious about it. I'm, you know, it's not like I'm going there to drink and, like...
Congrats on however long you haven't been drinking, man. That's pretty cool.
So December will be 2 years.
That's awesome. My wife's 7 years sober.
That's dope.
Which I personally can't. I mean, I drink. I would like to cut back. This August, I'm probably going to cool it for a little while just to take a break. But I mean, being in the military and obviously you're not drinking now, you're obviously a disciplined person. So regardless, if you do have to go to deployment or whatever, you're not necessarily getting distracted. You're going to do something that's very high intensity, very focus driven. Yeah. So at least you're not getting like I'll just like go like I'm going to go out this weekend and just party, or like I'm going to go to the beach or whatever. And I'm not doing anything that's like very important that takes me away from comedy.
Yeah.
It's more like I'm always just fighting with myself.
Yeah.
As far as just staying focused and staying disciplined.
And part of that is like comedy is still very fun for me.
Yeah.
I like the anxiety. I like the stakes. I like bullshitting with my friends in the community of comedy. I like the excitement of like showing up to a brewery, like, oh, what's the crowd going to be like tonight? Like, I love all those uncertainties.
Yeah.
And, you know,
you train in that stuff. You train in the uncertainty,
yeah,
right?
Very, very
You're
much
waiting
so.
for something to go wrong, or you know, prepared for something to go wrong.
Yeah. And so for me, it's like I'm just trying to manifest positive days. You know, I think a lot of people start from a deficit just
Negative
by waking
spot.
up.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by that? Like just negative mindset, or like?
Yeah, they like, oh, I wanted to wake up early, so now they've already missed like a task. It's like, all right, man, you woke up when your body needed sleep. You know, like don't beat yourself up for not doing that.
Yeah. So are you hard on yourself at all, like for comedy, or for like if you don't get up early or something like that? Like
very hard on myself.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on myself. Like I'm definitely less disciplined, but I'm definitely very hard on myself for comedy.
Yeah.
And like if I go up in a set, if I see other people killing and I go up and I'm not killing, I have a problem.
Yeah.
And like I will be upset.
Yeah.
Overly upset. Like I'll like Tuesday night did a mic. I didn't murder. Other people did. That's what it means when you do a very good job in comedy. You murder. So it's a
not
positive
in the military.
thing.
When you murder, it's just murder.
It's just death. And then I didn't, and I was like, man, I suck. And then I go home. Next day, I watch the video of it. I'm like, I actually got some laughs. It actually wasn't the worst set I've ever done.
Yeah.
Just other people had a better set than me, so it happens. But yeah, don't know where I'm going with that exactly. But I try not to be as hard on myself when you wake up first thing. You know, get those things done at the beginning of the day and just have it trickle down to a positive full day.
And even like this is the thing for me, at least. I'm very ADHD oriented. Things have to have like a very systematic process. Like I won't start cleaning the house until I have like the laundry's in and like spinning.
Yeah.
Then I'll sweep, and like there's kind of like a system to my chaos.
Yeah.
The thing that I'll beat myself up on in comedy is I'll get frustrated because I'm too loosey-goosey. I forget stuff, and it's 100% on me. I never blame the crowd. I used to when I was like first starting, like, oh, they didn't fucking like my jokes. All my anger would get turned towards them. And then I realized now, like after going back and like watching someone, you're not funny, dude. It's not their fault. You didn't present it the way it should have been presented.
Well, I wanted to ask you, do you still get, like, you seem pretty relaxed. I think a lot of people on stage hide their nervousness pretty good.
Yeah.
I am one of those people, like, I'll get nervous and I'm like, all right, I need to like take a shot of alcohol or whatever, just so I can chill out. And that's usually like, you know, when I'm not drinking, it's cool because I can go up, you deal with those nerves, and it's good to overcome them just as is. Do you ever still get nervous when you go up on stage? Or
Time.
Every time still?
Every time.
So now that we've both been doing longer sets typically than we started, right? We started out, it's 4 or 5 minute sets, whatever.
Yeah.
I've been doing some 20-minute sets here and there. You just told me you did a very long set. So do you think, I don't know if the short length sets get easier or less like full stakes when you do them, because it's like I could bomb for 4 minutes and get out. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's those 20-minute bombs when you're like
stuck in it.
What just happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's tough.
I will say I've used the system of creating at Dead Crow like the 3 to 3.5 minute sets, build those into 10-minute sets or 8-minute sets. Now I have like a better feel of how the set should go. And then I just have contingencies or backup
for like those longer sets.
Like if a joke, I try and hammock a fucking like a edgier joke with something that's a little bit more digestible right after it. So if I lose them on that, I can get them right back with the next joke.
That's a very good point.
And the step down isn't for long. There, and that doesn't always go to plan, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I love Brad. Thanks so much. He's done a lot for me. And so on Thursday, there's, it's us and people in the back of Port City.
Of course.
So for those sets, those are the ones where I'm anxious, but not as anxious. It's not. Brad does a really good job at like relieving your anxiety. Like, just hang out, dude. It's whatever. Just do your time. It may feel like a torture.
Yeah.
But those are the sets you need just to be able to like hold a mic and sit there for a long time.
Yeah.
And that's a muscle that needs to get flexed every once in a while.
Those sets, those gigs at Port City are what I've heard referred to in the past, or things that are very hard and seem impossible as character builders. They definitely build character 100%. And, I like doing those sets because I know I'm going to come in here with whatever I want to come in with.
Sure.
And if it doesn't work, I don't really care. I don't have to care. As long as no one's getting like brutally upset about it, whatever, you can definitely go and just fly the plane into the side of a mountain if you need to.
I want you to,
you know what I mean?
And you could take this and just say, fuck you. But the conversation, like going back to what is success?
Yeah.
That can happen at those shows. What does success mean to me in these shows? Like at this brewery or at Dead Crow?
Yeah.
What does success mean? Like, what can give me the feeling of success after walking away from this? And just setting something up like that in your brain. Like, I know I want to make Brad laugh. I want to make the other comics laugh. If there's no one there, I'm going to use with what I have. And that's 4 other comics who've heard some of my material before. So if I can deliver it in a manner that can get them to laugh, even though they've heard it 5-6 times, that's success to me. That means, like, I told my wife this because I showed her my set from Thursday. I had closed it I got the light and I go, all right, I guess I'll do one more for you guys. And I just held silence and then left on, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And then and I got a laugh off of just being quiet, which to me was the success point in that was being able to not say anything.
Did you move around at all, or did you just stare at everybody?
I can show you after this.
Oh, all right, I'll watch that. Yeah.
And then it was the break of the silence, which is what the punchline was.
That's very cool, man. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And it's going, like, use the open mic as that like, figure out, because I know I love to do act outs, and sometimes they just don't always work at like
some of the ones I've seen are pretty funny. Yeah,
because I've anchored the joke in the act out. What I learned is that I can't make the punchline the act out. There has to be a punchline. You know what I'm saying? And that's me and Brad busts my balls all the time. He's like, yeah, man, that's what happens when you go up with a premise and no punchline. You know what I'm saying? Like, because an act out, although can be funny, they're meant to bolster the joke, not anchor the joke.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I don't do too many. I like to do act outs using what I have. So like if like this guy on Jerry Seinfeld had that documentary, whatever it's called, Comedians or something like that. I forget the dude's name, but his act out was like, oh, cell phones are so big now. He grabs a bench and he puts it up to his ear or whatever. I like using the microphone as something that you can use for an act out, or the mic stand or whatever. Those are the type of act outs where I think when you use it creatively and people don't think about it like that, it can work really well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people pretend like, oh, the reporter is getting blown away by the wind, and they just stand on like the stool and they like blow away or whatever. It looks cool, but act outs can go a certain way if people cannot be on board with your act outs. Yeah, it very much is hit or miss.
Hit or miss. Yeah.
Yeah, your VR thing was I think that's a pretty funny
I got one that
out.
I'm doing about my kid getting boners, and it's fucking it rips. I'll show you the set after this, but
it's pretty funny.
Yeah, man. Where can people find you at?
So I'm on Davey K _laughs. So that's DAVEYK _laughs is my Instagram. I have some YouTube links up there. You can catch me at Cataba's on Wednesday, Cataba Brewing Company on Wednesdays doing trivia, and then I'm gonna start coming to Dead Crow more often on Thursdays. I've been gone for like the last month.
Yeah, you
but,
fucking better.
Yeah, I'll probably see you on Thursday next time if you're there. So.
Yeah. Or
That's
Wednesday, August 2nd at Hooligans Live for the comedy open mic. Every drink or every ticket comes with a complimentary drink. $5 tickets. You can sign up at the door, or you can sign up online with the Google Docs. And
it's an easy drive.
Yeah.
If you're in Wilmington, it's
if
not
you're
a
in
bad
Wilmington,
drive.
or if you're in Jacksonville. If you're in Jacksonville, come on down. If you're in Quantico, Virginia, come on down. If you're in Florida, come on up. You know,
Come on up. You said that right. Good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this was awesome. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for coming. I'm only worried about what my kids are doing right now.
Really?
Yeah. They
Let's
could be
go.
in all sorts of ruckus.
I think it's a lot of parents say like it's when it's silence, you know something's wrong. Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. My anxiety, like my spider senses, are just firing off.
It's not
right
the
now.
Zins, not the many Zins, or
I mean, there's 2 of you right now, but no, man. I want to thank you so much for coming out. If you guys like the episode, please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be having more interviews pushing out, and hopefully it all recorded this time, unlike my last interview.
let's hope so.
Peace. Love
Peace
you
out.
guys. Deuces.
Peace out.